Oh, here we go. Worthless degrees fueling the student debt crisis. Okay. That must be the reason why they keep trying to funnel money to these religious charter schools. That must be, yeah. You know what I mean? Because, people out here, they majoring in economics and political science when you can major in Ezekiel and Lamentations. You know what I mean? What you gonna do with economics? What you gonna do with accounting? You know what I mean? I'm majoring in Peter. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. I am Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Now, there has been a lot of conversation about Byron Donalds' wife. He told me he was from Jamaica, and he had a Jamaican accent, and he was cute. Then the next time I saw him, the Jamaican accent was gone, and he said he was from New York. Now, a lot of us like to reinvent ourselves when we decide to go to college or just when we go out of town in general. But a whole accent? No, that's not it. No, I meant the other wife. The second family. These are second family values. Second family values. The relationship was serious, but Hall said sometime around Christmas 2002, Donalds came to her with a startling proposition. He wanted to rekindle their relationship. He said, Erika and I have split up, and I want to give it another chance. I want my wife back. But a short time later, after he made a short trip to Naples, Donalds did another sharp U-turn, telling Hall they needed a divorce as soon as possible. Long story short, turned out Erika was pregnant, and they had to hurry up and get married. Oh boy, nothing like a whole shotgun wedding and finding out after the fact that it was in fact a shotgun wedding, but needed a divorce to precipitate the shotgun wedding. Oh man, has anybody got any ring cam footage or any surveillance footage of the Donalds after this came out? That's what we need. We got all these reality shows. We ain't got nobody to see Byron Donalds walking in the house after this became public. Now, Donalds also asked her to pay all the fees for the divorce, which she did with the caveat he'd pay her back when he could afford it. It was the last transaction in what she described as a largely transactional marriage. Yep, that's it. That's the one that Jasmine Crockett was talking about.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure, what it is.
Well,
but
you
I
couldn't
need
even be married to a white woman under Jim
correct,
Crow.
Correct. And it took Joy to call him out. So I'm like, bruh, what are you talking about? What are you saying? He just out here, I feel like they give him his talking points and he's like, yes, massa, I got it.
You know what? That puts that Jesse Waters offer in a different perspective now, doesn't it? That must have been what he was after. At the end of the day, he was trying to whitewash Jasmine.
As far as Jasmine goes, I researched her, and it's never good when I do that. I found out she's single. She's 43. She's never been married. And I'm trying to figure out what makes her tick. I think I can set her up with someone.
Oh, my God.
I know a guy in D.C., Emily. He's white. Hopefully that's not a problem, but he will make her happy. And maybe then she will not hate everybody else besides herself so much. So if you're interested, I will set it up. And it would be my pleasure to do it.
Okay. Yes to that. We'll circle back on that.
Well, Byron, you're going to have to take that up with Jesse Waters. That same energy that you had with Jasmine, because I know you did not like that at all.
It's a clapback you've got to see. You probably heard what Jasmine Crockett said about Byron Donalds on that guy Lenny's radio show. She sat there and called out his wife because of her race and then went on this rant. Now, I interviewed Byron Donalds a little while ago. You've got to see his reaction. Do not stop watching this. It's going to blow your mind.
First and foremost, don't talk about my wife. Keep my wife out of this. Ain't got nothing to do with her. You can talk to me about policy anytime you want to. Secondarily, there was a couple of times on the campaign trail last year where I know I was booked to be on stage or to be in debate with Jasmine, and all of a sudden her schedule changed. She had a conflict, whatever the case might be. So if she wants to do this, if she wants to have that debate, I'm easy to find. You know, you ain't got to look hard for me. You know, I'm 6'2". You can find me. It's pretty easy. Number three, and most importantly, this demonstrates, frankly, the racism in the Democrat Party, because they don't have a problem when Kamala Harris is married to a white man or when Ketanji Brown Jackson's married to a white man, as long as they subscribe to the politics of the Democratic left. As long as you do that, everything is fine. But if you're a conservative, but your spouse happens to be white or of another race, then all of a sudden it's a problem. This is the racism that occurs in the Democrat Party. I'm sick of it, tired of the BS.
Now that didn't make any sense at the time, which is what I said. If it's okay here, but not okay here, it must be about you now, huh? It must be about you. You know, that's crazy. I see how much money that LeBron and KD make every time they step onto the floor. I went to the YMCA today and I ain't make nothing. No. I went to my mailbox. Not only was it empty, it was inside of a trash can because they said I was that garbage. What does make sense, though, is that you defended your wife. That does make sense because she has defended you as well. Well, it's time to put that cape back on, my boy. And it couldn't have come at a worse time. Firms belonging to the wife of Representative Donalds grabbed millions of dollars in charter school contracts. This from the Florida Bulldog. For years, Erika Donalds used her perch atop the nonprofit Optima Foundation, not to mention her marriage to U.S. Rep. Byron Donalds, now a top contender for governor and CEO of Beijing, to make herself a force in Florida's charter school movement. But materials filed with Florida's Auditor General show how in recent years, the foundation lost multiple contracts with its signature classical academies over what the schools allege were faulty accounting practices, and still more contracts that switched over to for-profit companies that Donalds owns herself. That's crazy. Not Erika Donalds. No, you mean the same lady that's married to the guy who didn't file his stocks? What? Oh, man. That's who would have thought?
I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no.
Further, state and federal financial disclosures reveal a long-running yet previously unreported financial relationship between the congressman's wife and state rep John Snyder, an aggressive advocate of charter schools and the owner of a firm that provided payroll services to Optima-affiliated academies and an extra salary to Erika Donalds. Neither Erika Donalds, her husband's office, Snyder, nor Optima responded to calls, texts, or email queries from Florida Bulldog regarding this story. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Because he had all that smoke for Jasmine Crockett. He responded immediately, didn't he? Yep, he responded immediately. Now, all of a sudden, they must have been watching that Michelle Obama. And they go low, we go high. They must be trying to take the high road. Is that what that is? Real high. In April 2018, Donalds and her newfound foundation won approval from the Martin County School Board to create their first publicly funded, privately run charter Treasure Coast Classical Academy in Stewart, which, like Mason, launched as an affiliate of conservative Hillsdale College and boasts a curriculum centered on, quote, the Western tradition. Wonder what that's about. The Western tradition? So is that like a lot of native studies? Is that what that is? Is that a lot of Pac-10? They do a lot of, they study the history of the Pac-10 and how it came together and dissolved. Like, what is Western studies? Huh. Now that's interesting.
You guys, I'm like really smart now. You don't even know.
Is it a lot of history of Bloods and Crips in Western studies?
You get real tricky, you get real Mickey, you get real dangerous.
I heard they got a whole seminar based on the geography of the movie Friday.
Damn!
It uses methods and resources that are proven and time-tested. It doesn't follow fads. I get it. Historically white supremacist materials. That is okay. Got proven and time tested, so we don't actually evolve with an awakening consciousness in America or the world. We go with what drove us to the mistakes of our past and now. That's what we're doing. At the time, Donald's husband was prepping for his second term in the State House, where then Speaker Richard Corcoran had appointed her to the state's Constitution Revision Commission. The Naples Daily News quoted her as saying she had no concrete plans to open another school, and even attesting that she'd received no compensation for her services as the foundation's CEO. Neither proved true, and the Donalds' fortunes rose in tandem. Jacksonville Classical Academy launched with the help of former Bahamas ambassador and Republican real estate developer John Rood, opened its doors in August 2020, just 2 days after Donalds won the Republican primary for his current congressional seat with Trump's backing. The Naples Classical Academy opened in 2021 and Jacksonville Classical East in 22, the same year Ron DeSantis named Erika Donalds to the Florida Gulf Coast University Board of Trustees. Each of these schools, which collectively have received tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer funding, inked management contracts with the Optima Foundation. Tax filings and reports to the Auditor General's office show. Over $4 million total from Treasure Coast Classical, over $8 million from Naples Classical, and $2.3 million from Jacksonville Classical. Now, if you're like me, when you see DeSantis's name in conjunction with Donald's name, that just blows the roof off of the impropriety that is possible. That really kind of opens the door. We go from breaking and entering to Ocean's 11. And guess what? You're not wrong.
Hey, everyone. Governor Ron DeSantis and Florida Republicans are trying to sell you a dream, school choice for all. But what they're not telling you, this universal voucher scheme is draining billions from public schools and handing it to unregulated private institutions. All right, let's break it down. Vouchers take your tax dollars, money meant for public schools, and it gives it to private and religious schools with little oversight. That means no accountability, no certified teachers required, and no protections for students with disabilities. In fact, these schools are allowed to deny admittance to any student they want for any reason. This isn't parents getting a choice in where their kids go to school. It's the schools choosing which kids they want to accept. And guess who's getting the short end of that deal? That's right, struggling middle-income families. Not to mention that $4 billion in taxpayer funds are being funneled away from public schools in Florida. That's money that should be paying for teacher salaries, new textbooks, better classrooms. While 90% of Florida kids attend public schools, Republicans are gutting their funding, leaving teachers underpaid and classrooms overcrowded, while your tax dollars pay for elite private school tuition. Does that sound fair to you? Florida teachers are already some of the most underpaid teachers in the nation, while our SAT scores are last in the nation and reading and math scores are at 20-year lows. A generation of Republican reforms have done nothing but make our education system one of the worst in the country. Florida Republicans would rather spend their time banning books than improving our kids' education. So who really benefits from this voucher scheme? Surprise, it's not struggling families. The richest Floridians are cashing in, using vouchers to subsidize tuition that they were already paying. Some are even buying kayaks and tickets to Disney World with this money. In fact, just today, there was a discussion about the inability of the state to track which students were receiving the aid. The problem is that most of the students have never attended public school in the state of Florida and therefore have never received a student ID that could be tracked. This isn't about school choice for struggling families. It's about using your taxpayer dollars to subsidize rich families to continue sending their kids to private and religious schools. Now, this is part of a larger GOP plan to undermine public education and push privatization. If they really cared about education, they'd be investing in all schools, not just the ones that benefit their donors. Public schools are the backbone of our communities. Don't let them be defunded. Call your legislators, stay informed, and most importantly, vote. Drop a comment below if you want to stand with public schools, and let's tell Republicans in Tallahassee to stop destroying our education system.
In 2021, for the first and only time in all records to date, the Optima Foundation reported paying Erika Donalds a salary of $183,000. However, her husband did not report this income in his disclosures to the U.S. House Ethics Committee in either 2021 or 2022, despite filing an amended report the latter year. So he didn't report it, despite the fact that he amended that very, they must have one of those different situations in the home. You put your money over here. I take care of the family. I'm the man, I'm the provider. You just put that as your nest egg, just so you feel comfortable with the situation. I think, you know what I mean? Or maybe he had to pay her back, for saving his life back in the day, because he was going nowhere good with that Jamaican thing. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what that was. In any event, he probably should have put some of that away to pay for that quickie divorce. I'm seeing a whole lot of money flying around. I ain't seeing nothing going to pay for the dissolution. But the congressman did report his wife earned more than $500,000 in total salary between 2020 and 2022 from a firm called Educator Solutions. The Optima Foundation run charter schools reports to the IRS show that they paid Educator Solutions almost $7 million during those same years, while the foundation itself paid the company $2.7 million, all for, quote, payroll services. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me they paid $2.7 million for payroll services?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The federal government shouldn't pay $2.7 million for payroll services, and they got damn near 1 million employees. What y'all got going on? What's happening with the payroll? You paying $2.7 million for payroll? Dang. I gotta be nicer to them. Yeah, I gotta be nicer to them down there in accounts receivable down there in the back. I didn't know they got it like that. State filings reveal that Educator Solutions is in fact a fictitious business name registered to ESI Technical Inc., a company founded by State Rep John Snyder, whose father, William Snyder, was the longtime Martin County Sheriff until earlier this year. Snyder's financial disclosures show he has earned nearly $700,000 from ESI Technical since 2020, the year he was elected, and he has consistently identified the Optima-linked charter schools as ESI's biggest customers. Snyder has come under fire for promoting policies favorable to charter schools while profiting from their operations, but no outlet has previously reported his company's financial relationship with Erika Donalds. But in 2023, a pivot occurred both in the model for managing the Optima academies and subsequently the foundation's relationship with several of them. Tax filings show that year each of them began contracting with one or both of two for-profit companies that Erika Donalds controls, Optima Ed and Optima Management Solutions. Jointly, the two Donalds companies pulled in $5.8 million that year for services ranging from management to payroll to IT. Likewise, the Optima Foundation paid $143,000 to Optima Management Services for payroll in 2023, even though it footed some $1.76 million to Educator Solutions ESI for the same purpose. Minutes from a January 2023 memo for one Optima school assert, Optima has completed the conversion of HR payroll from ESI to Optima Management Services. So they paid millions of dollars to one company for payroll and then like $140,000 to another company for payroll for the same year? How much money do y'all bring in that y'all have that much money to pay for payroll? And let's also just get, this should not go unmentioned. It was in the reading, but at some point, the conflict of interest has to just become unwieldy, right? At some point, when you have, because I've done this too, like when you make too many bets, right? Or you got too many fantasy teams, all of a sudden you realize that like everything that happens is negligible. Y'all have so many conflicts. At what point does it become impossible to manage? I guess at the point where you pay millions of dollars for payroll with no irony, year after year. That year, for the first time, Byron Donalds entered NA in the amount field on his financial disclosures form for all of his wife's income sources, which that year included salaries from Educator Solutions and Optima Management Services and 1099 arrangements with Optima Ed and the Foundation. He's not filed a full personal financial disclosure since. Hey, Byron, that ain't no problem. That ain't I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Damn!
But 2023 also marked the end of the Optima Foundation's relationship with 3 of his signature charter schools. In an annual audit submitted to the state auditor general, Treasure Coast Classical revealed that on December 31st of that year, it terminated its management services contract with the Optima Foundation. The filing provides no further details on what precipitated the severing of their 3-year affair. Neither Optima nor Treasure Coast replied to emails or phone messages about what precipitated the break. The Jacksonville Classical Academies disclosed that they too broke with Optima Foundation. In a statement to Mother Jones magazine that year, Erika Donalds maintained that the nonprofit had simply switched to working with schools on an as-needed basis. But the auditor for the 2 Jacksonville schools found deficiencies in their accounting for debts, textbooks, revenues, vendor invoices, and county funds, and the school leadership blamed Optima. The Optima Foundation, Inc. failed recurs in the management team's responses to the auditor's filings. Now, you would think for all that money, for all them contracts that they got for payroll and whatnot, they would have got some sort of warranty or something. You know what I mean? Y'all don't got no kind of chargeback you could do on your card or nothing like that. You just paid all them millions of dollars and you just say they failed at the end of the day and they take your money. Call the Better Business Bureau. Lord knows. Hey, don't call CFPB. We can't. Because they got, again, that whole conflict thing. Yeah, about Byron being involved in that. Don't call them. Call the Better Business Bureau or leave a Yelp review or something. I mean, really, they beat you out of too much money for you to be walking away like that. Naples Classical also dropped the foundation as its manager, but inked new 1-year contracts, first with Erika Donalds, for-profit Optima Ed, then with her Optima Management Services. Though entitled to the same 12% of the school revenues as the foundation, the for-profit companies have raked in considerably more cash than the nonprofit, thanks to the school's swelling budget. I wonder why the school's budgets be swelling. For the 21-22 term, Naples Classical paid $1.24 million to the Optima Foundation. In 23-24, the most recent, it paid $1.56 million to Optima Management Services, a bump of more than 25%. Now that was a whole lot of reading on the inner workings of the Donalds finances, but we've heard a lot from Byron. Why don't we put a face to the name involved in all of this?
Has done to our country, it actually has hurt minorities. And why is that? Because so often people will look at a minority who has achieved and go, I wonder if the door was open to them simply because they are black or because they are Hispanic. And their accomplishments are called into question because we know that there are quotas in these colleges and that there are many times where people of color are given a spot even though someone else, perhaps a white person, may be better suited for that position or have earned that position.
Now this all makes sense. Now I get why they could charge so much in the education space, because she just taught me something. She just taught me. I've been black for 4 decades. I had no idea there was no racism before affirmative action. I ain't know. She just taught me that. Yeah, apparently before affirmative action, they were just bringing black people in willy-nilly, just dominating all the boards, dominating all the Congress, just lots of black people, and nobody ever questioned their credibility at all. Yeah, nobody ever questioned whether they deserve to be there. None of that. That's crazy. It all started with wow. They need to send that to NAACP. They ain't going to send that. You know, because that's that Western curriculum. You know what I mean? That's that Western curriculum. You know what I mean? It's right here. More people need to get on this.
I kind of was a little disappointed to see the governor take a shot at your husband about not being in the fight, something to that effect, which I thought was both unnecessary and kind of untrue.
Well, it's definitely untrue. You know, my husband served in the state house for 4 years, and he actually ran the first bill in the country that would allow parents and community members access to instructional materials so that we could find out the kind of woke indoctrination that was actually in those materials in the schools. So to say that he wasn't in the fight, he actually started the fight, right? When he was in the legislature. He also was the one who sponsored HB1, which was the Hope Scholarship Program, which was at the time the largest expansion of funding for parental school choice. Again, we appreciate everything that he's done for Florida, his leadership during COVID, certainly. And I think that my husband, you know, having a even more conservative record in Congress than Ron DeSantis did as a congressman is going to just continue those wins.
I had no idea I was going to make it this long without the word woke coming up. I had no idea. It only took 2 videos. But you know what? I would have thought I would have thought Byron or his wife would have had a company named Woke. You know what I mean? Maybe one of these kids was named Woke. Yeah, I'm shocked I made it this far without Woke coming up. But congratulations. Erika Donalds applauds Brevard superintendent for upholding parental rights and preferred name controversy. So let's see, a prominent advocate for school choice, praise county superintendent Dr. Mark Rendell for not renewing the contract of a teacher who used a student's preferred name without parental permission. That's right. We're not renewing a teacher's contract because they used the student's preferred name. Didn't say they refused to say the other name. Didn't say repeatedly. It said use the student's preferred name. We're not renewing the teacher's contract. But y'all got to walk away with millions of dollars for payroll and they just say you failed. Oh, Florida. Oh, here we go. Worthless degrees fueling the student debt crisis. Okay. That must be the reason why they keep trying to funnel money to these religious charter schools. That must be, yeah. You know what I mean? Because, you know, people out here, you know, they majoring in economics and political science when you can major in Ezekiel and Lamentations. You know what I mean? What you gonna do with economics? You know, what you gonna do with accounting? You know what I mean? I'm majoring in Peter. Is there a Peter? I'm majoring in Lamentations. Acts. Both of them. Double major. Huh? There's only one Acts? Yeah, I meant like Acts and Luke. You know what I mean? Acts and Luke. It's like a 2-part with Acts and Luke. They go together, but they just got different names. It's like when Alex Haley did Roots and Queen. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they, you know what I mean? Yeah. I remember Queen.
Thankfully, shows like yours and others have gotten the word out to the American public that only 3 in every 10 students in 4th grade in America read proficiently. 3 in 10. That is ridiculous. A third. I have 3 children. Can you imagine if 2 of them couldn't read, how angry I would be? That is America. America should be very angry because 2 out of every 3 students cannot read proficiently. It is a national crisis. The Department of Education has done absolutely nothing, despite the vast investment from the taxpayers, to improve the situation.
Oh, I'm sure Linda McMahon is on it. Yeah, I'm sure Linda McMahon gonna get A1. Linda McMahon gonna get A1 on the job. That clearly was the solution. And as far as reading proficiency, Erika Donalds, we should probably look in-house. You know what I mean? You mentioned your kids. Look closer. Look.
Have you read the book Cast by Isabel Wilkerson?
Have you read the book of my life?
Cast.
Whoa, stop. Don't educate me about my life, sir. Don't do that. Don't, sir. Hold on. What? Please, hear me on this. I like how everybody's shouting at me, a black guy on stage with a microphone in his hand, saying, have you read this book, read this book? Don't marginalize my life and what I've done. Don't do that. Don't marginalize other black people. Don't do that. Don't marginalize theirs. Do you know how many black men in America?
I can tell you this. What they should have been asking him is, did you read these financial disclosures? Did you read your wife's salaries? Did you read any of them financial statements? Did you read the requirements for payroll services? These are all things that should have been yelled, but I guess maybe that would be for you, Erika, which is what brings us here. And I can only imagine. I'll be honest, with Donald Trump at the helm, with this kind of like impropriety and conflict of interest, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. I just got to give credit to Florida Bulldog for documenting it all along the way, because Donald Trump won't be here forever, but your misdeeds, however, will. We got it all. Thank you so much for watching the video. Sending love out to all of the subscribers and members, and a special shout out to all those that came out to the 500K live celebration, as well as the Tuesday special viewers edition of the Tuesday Night Live.
You got on drawers. Like, what? You got on drawers. Chaps doesn't make it not drawers.
Now, I mentioned it was a special viewers edition because one thing I've noticed, we have so much talent in this community. So many people with so many amazing thoughts, so many people with so many amazing achievements, organizational skills. You guys are doing some incredible things. So if you're working on a project, you're working on something, you're working with a group you think might be of interest to the community, I would love to highlight you on my live. Every few weeks, I'm going to dedicate the live to that. So if you're interested in being highlighted, send me a note at admin@reesewaters.com. By the way, did you guys happen to get the last newsletter? Because, oh yeah, we are cooking over there. We talked all about what's going on with Essence Fest, as well as the Fox News meltdown on woke Superman. You know, some of those bylines by Clark Kent were kind of CRT. Now that I think about it, they were kind of CRT. And we ended on a positive with Ironheart finally being certified fresh. You know, like I was back in the 90s. Yeah, I was a wild boy. You know what I mean? I was a wild boy. We put out the newsletter every single week. If you want to sign up for it, you can do it over at my Patreon, patreon.com/Reese Waters. It's available in the deep water and troubled water tiers. We also have a free monthly newsletter that we put out. You sign up at the same place. You can get a free account and you can get our monthly newsletter right there.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Speaking of monthly, I need to pay that electricity bill. Yeah, it ain't no joke. Ever since we've been running this AC on high all winter, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Hopefully my wife don't see this.